I was asked a couple of times by people about the 10 minutes a day for 90 days and what you do and how you know you're doing it and what's it for and how it works and so forth. So we're going to play a game. You're going to play the game with me first and then with each other. It's very quick. We'll do this in a hurry. And it's called a calibration exercise. And hopefully you've done this 100 times. If you have, do it 101st time, do it good, do it quick, get done, and we'll move on. Okay? Everybody understand? I call these the 6 primary calibrations. You can call them whatever you want. Positive, active, happy, excited, fun. Okay? Call it whatever word you want to call it. I use generic so that you can use your own word. Positive, passive, calm, comfortable, relaxed. Okay? Negative, active, you could probably figure out what that is. Okay? Angry, aggressive, complaining, frustrated. Okay? Negative, passive, sad, depressed. Okay? The world is against me. Get up. Interest. This is a very special calibration. It's curiosity. It's like when you're like, oh my God, something you're observing or listening to is really interesting. You really want to pay attention. It's a very important calibration, and it's a calibration you should be able to create fast whenever you want. Okay? Decision making. Decision making is a little different. You can use it if you want, if you're good at it. In the 90 days, of course. What does it mean? Most people don't know when or how they make a decision. Most people don't control when they make a decision. Decisions happen to people. I'm listening to somebody, and all of a sudden they go, aha, okay, I got it. You know, now I know what they mean, now I know what they said or whatever. And oftentimes, it happens before you should make a decision. I know some people are hilarious. They go, oh, I really need to decide what to do, and I just can't decide. You know, and I'm tempted to look at those people and go, excuse me, whose head is on your neck? You want to do something with it and you don't know how? Are you kidding? You know, I really need to make a decision. So make it, you idiot. Well, but I don't know what to do. Right. Okay. Do you understand how ludicrous that is for somebody to say? You ever heard people say, I'm having feelings I don't want? Are you joking? You know, change them. Well, I don't know how. You don't know how to think what you want to think? You know, I'm having these feelings. Well, you know, I'm feeling terrified. So feel good. Huh? But I'm having this. What do you think a feeling happens to you? It's like somebody comes in and shoots you with a feeling gun. You know? Hey, feel terrible. Get out of here. The metaphor that I use that's always interesting to me is a piano keyboard on your chest, right? Out, with the keys out here. So people walk up and go, hi, how are you, King? And you go, oh, I feel terrible. You know, get out of here. Turn the keyboard inside. Decide yourself. Okay? Now, that's all fine to say if you know how. Well, guess what? Now you know how. Right? There it is. Simple. Okay? Let me give you an idea. If I'm going to be mad, because I used to be really mad a lot and have a big temper and be dangerous and all that stuff, it was, you know, it wasn't so bad before the war. After the war, it was a little dangerous because not only was I explosive, but I actually didn't know what to do about it. Before, I just get mad and cry and scream and run. After the war, I had to run at. It was a different. Okay? So find a key. Whatever happens in the world around you, you can call it anchored, you can call it triggered, you can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. But something happens outside of you, and it begins a process in you. Okay? Now, for me, I learned that when I get angry, the first thing that happens is I feel tightness right here. You know, why? I have no idea. I don't care why. But I know what happens. Second thing that happens, my shoulders tighten. Third thing that happens, my breathing restricts. Fourth thing that happens, I see a fleeting image of something from my past. I barely notice, but I see it. Fourth thing that happens, I make a sound. Ah! You know, or I say a word, usually not a polite word. Okay? Then I see the picture. Then I say another word inside, and then I attack. Or run, depending on the situation. Okay? So that's how I get mad. That's how I become a robot. That's how my life is taken over by my triggers as opposed to my choice. Now, we have this exciting possibility because you happen to be a human being. You have two brains, not one. The dog doesn't have a choice. The dog only smells the flame once in its life. Human beings smell the flame repeatedly, okay, because they have choice. You understand? So you have a choice. You have the ability, one of the things that makes you unique in the world is you have an ability to not respond to a stimulus. Interesting? Or, a better way of saying that is to choose your response to a stimulus. You don't have to do it the same way you did it when you were 3. You understand?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so most people, they learn the stimulus response when they're 3 years old or 5 years old. They do it for the rest of their life. And they never know why or how. Right? Because this happens, I'm mad. Oh, I am the person who gets mad in this. That's who I am. You know, God, I've actually heard people say that. I am my triggers. That's how I know who I am. That's the real me. The real you. Do you understand when people say that it's frightening? You know what I mean by that? That's frightening. There's no real you, for God's sake. Who doesn't know that? There's no real you. You're trained. Well, okay, there's a real you. I take it back. The real you is naked, can't control any orifices, can't control your bodies, can't control your voice, doesn't know language, and flops on the floor. And you're about this long. That's the real you. That's the only real you there is. The moment the doctor hits you, you start learning. And now you're different. Now you're changed. And now you're starting to adapt. And I promise you, if you had the ability to control your hands, you'd hit them back. You would. But you can't. So you just poop on them instead. Or pee on them. Yeah? Okay? But, hey, not bad. For a little kid, yeah? Okay? So we become habituated to certain triggers. Right? And sadly, there are people who think that's the real them. That's frightening. That's scary. I am proud to be a robot that has no control over my life, my emotions, my reactions, because it's real. How many of you have heard people who are very searching for the real self? Anybody? Yeah. Come on. You don't have to search for it. Be it. Produce it.
That's a good idea.
Why wait? Well, so one of these days, if I go to the mountains enough, and I listen to the gurus, and I get on my knees, and I chant and throw shit, throw stuff at these things, and gong and gong and gong and gong, well, it'll be a miracle. Out of the gong comes the real me. Right. So, what is the real you? The real you is any damn thing you want to be. If you know how to do it. If you know how to use this thing, this is a miracle. It's amazing what this thing can do on your head and what you can do with it. You can create your life, you can create your world, you can create your love, you can create your beliefs, you can create your values, you can create your reactions, you can choose to be anything, anytime you want because of the incredible ability you have on that thing sitting on your shoulders. It's yours. It's yours, and you can do with it whatever the hell you learn how to do. The only thing stopping you is knowing how, not what. Okay? So how? Easy. When I learned what happens here, right? I feel this, that's my signal, that's my key. Am I mad? No. Something happened, the mad strategy started. But now I notice this consciously. And what do? Remember what I did before? After this, what? What's after this is what? Okay. After that? Okay. Now watch. Trigger. Trigger. Cue. Watch. Now what's the next? A breath. Okay. A relaxing of the shoulders and opening of the breathing. You understand? Next. What do I want? Ask and answer. What state do I want? Okay. Answer. Calm, for example. Okay. Calm. Oh, okay. Now, establish a state. Calm, no problem. When I was about 4, I had one day with my grandpa. One day. My other grandpa was dead before I knew him. So I had one day with one grandpa before he was gone. And that day he took me fishing. He didn't like fishing. I didn't like fishing. Didn't matter. We were together. Right? And during the fishing, he's a great, huge Bohemian man. Czechoslovakian. And he reached down and he put his hand on my head. And he said, Frankie, I love you. Now, I've hinted at you about my childhood. It wasn't a lot of fun. So those events didn't get to happen very often. But that one, that was the finest day in my life up to that point. You understand? And I remember that feeling, kind of like, oh my God. And I remember the weight of his fingers on my head. And if I think about it, I can feel them. You know what I mean? Okay. I remember the sound of his voice. Now, what am I doing? I remember the smell of the lake. I remember the cold water on my feet. I remember the sound of the bugs flying in the air because it was dusk. Right? You understand? Okay. And I remember looking out across the lake and seeing the last glimmer of sunlight just before it's dark. You know, when you just barely see the water ripple and you see the flashes of the last bit of light in the ripple. And I remember all those things. And what do you think I feel when I remember all those things? What's my emotion? Emotion is not a feeling. Emotion is a whole bunch of sensory inputs. It's not a feeling. And people misuse that all the time. They say feeling when they mean emotion. A feeling is hot, cold, and pressure, guys. Sorry. Sensation. And proprioception, yeah. You understand? But an emotion is a whole bunch of different sensory experiences backed up one after the other and given a new name called calm or happy or whatever it is. But when I remember Grandpa, whoa, I am calm. So I remember Grandpa, the skill of it, more senses. The more senses you add, the stronger the memory. The stronger the presence. The presence. Okay? Okay? Now, name it. Easy, Grandpa. You hear what I said? I didn't say Grandpa. I said Grandpa. That voice is my 4-year-old voice. You hear it? Grandpa. And when I hear that, the whole experience comes back full, strong. Right? Now what do I do after that? Come back to the present. I can do that in 1 or 2 seconds. You understand? So, only now what am I? Am I angry or am I calm? Calm. Why? Because calm is the emotion that I want to have right now. Or interest. Or happy. Or, you understand? Okay, why? I am a human in that sense. That fact that I can have whatever reaction I want by using my memories. When you get mad, you are using your memories. You are mistaking the past for the present. That's what mad means. You understand? So what past? Do I have to use the negative one, or can I choose to use the positive one? They're the same. It's the same process, with one exception. Choice. Choice. You decide. You see, when a person is a robot, they go trigger, state, name it, fire, aggressive, bang, go, attack. They leave out the choice steps. So what we did is we studied how people ruin their lives by becoming robots and figured out how to simply add choice 2 steps in the beginning, which gives choice. Interesting? Because that is exactly the way people ruin their lives. We know it works. People are in crazy houses because it works. People are damaging their life every day because it works. There's no question about whether it works. How do we turn it into choice? Whoa, that's the fun part. And that's step 2 and 3. The second step, breathe, gives you a chance to make a choice. Make the choice, boom, grandpa. If I want happy, I see Eric in front of me down the ski slopes with me following him. Because that was one of the happiest days of my life, is skiing with my son. You know, and whenever I see him right in front of me, I'm trying to catch him, right? And I can't catch him. Damn kids. So, but how fun. We were both laughing so hard I don't think either one of us could stand up on the ski slope for long, because we had so much fun. Happy, wow. Interest, ooh, yeah. There's a speaker that I know he's a crazy guy. His name's Leo Buscaglia. And I don't know if anybody actually knows who that is. You know who that is? Really? Oh my gosh. He is incredible. He is incredible. Leo Buscaglia. And if you can catch a video of that guy, you will laugh till you cry. And you will learn from that man some special things. He's fantastic. And when I watch him speak, I'm gone. I am lost in that man's speaking and wisdom and not, you understand? I'm like, oh my God. And I just dive into it. You understand? And he's my anchor, my trigger. I can turn on cold, real good, real easy. I can look down the barrel of a gun and pull the trigger. I've done it. You know, and thank goodness I don't use that very often, like almost never. Okay, never. Almost. But I have it. Okay, and if I ever need it, to protect my son or protect somebody I care about, it won't hesitate. You don't have to worry about me protecting you. It will happen. And anger, if I want to be angry, I know how to do that. Okay, I don't like angry because when I'm angry, I say really stupid things. Am I the only one? Yeah? How many of you have ever gotten angry and say something and go, oh, and you want to go, wait, oh, shit, it's too late. Yeah, right? You know, and you go, oh, I'm going to be paying for that wisdom for a long time. Anybody? Yeah? Yeah, no, you don't do that. Angry and say things that you know you shouldn't say. You never.
Oh, no, I shouldn't say it, yes.
Oh, okay, I was going to say. I was about to crown you as a saint there. That's good, yeah. Okay, good, yeah. So, you know, guys. Oh, so I have a rule in my life. If I'm angry, don't talk. You know, and because when I'm angry, I am way not brilliant. Way not brilliant. 3 times in my life, I said things to my son that deeply hurt him that were unfair because of my anger. 3 times. And between you and me, I hate every one of those 3 times. And I've done everything I can in my life to apologize to that boy whenever I can about those 3 times. 3 times. 3. Not bad for a kid who put up with 300,000 of those in his life. You understand? But it's still 3. You know, yeah. So I'm very proud of the relationship I have with my son. Doesn't mean I wasn't tough. I asked him if I was tough. You know, tough on him because I was, I guess strict is a better word, not so much tough. You know, strict. But I told him one time, you know, if he wants to do drugs, it's okay, do them. I'll handcuff you to my belt for a year. 24/7, you'll be with me for a year. I don't care where I go, you'll be with me. At the end of the year, we'll decide whether it's another year. So take drugs if you want. You know, I don't care. You know? So he's like, okay, Dad, I got it. You know? And plus, I ran a treatment program in Oklahoma at the same time, and used to go to the treatment program with me. And the kids in the treatment program all told him, you know, your dad's a good guy. You ever do drugs, we find you. You know? And he's looking at this Indian boy that just doesn't quite fit through the door. He's 14, right? And he's like, come here, you. You know, to Eric. Eric's like 5, you know, 5 years old. Oh, Jesus. Okay, never. Plus, he was a professional athlete anyway, and he couldn't do drugs because he couldn't race if he did drugs. So, here's the goal. I'm going to show you each statement. Okay? Mine. One by one. Okay, I think you remember what they are, yeah? Okay. Here we come. Hello there, darling. How are you? And there it is. Oh! Okay. I'm going to show you each one by one. You're going to observe. I'm going to tell you what they are before I show you. Okay? Then, after you've seen all 6, then I'm going to show you one, but I'm not going to tell you which one it is. You have to tell me which one it is. Okay? Your goal is to accurately identify 3 of my states in a row once we start doing the competition. You understand? 3 in a row. Choose one of those 6. Okay? Now, if you get 2 in a row and you miss the 3rd one, you have 0. Okay? 3 in a row. Correct. Because this is an observation exercise as well as a calibration exercise. Okay, guys? Let me get to where I think you can all see me. Okay? Fair enough? Yeah? You okay there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably easier from the side anyway. Okay? So, active positive. Okay? Simple, yeah? Okay. Passive positive. Okay? Active negative. Got it? Okay? That's not one you want to see. Okay? Negative passive. Passive negative. Okay? Okay? Interest. Okay? Okay? Decision making. This is not a calibration, this is a strategy, so watch. Decision making. I'm going to make a decision, you'll see it happen. Ready? Got it? Okay. Now, if you know accessing cues, you know exactly how I think. Exactly. Which can become, you get really good at this, can become very interesting, but hopefully nobody in here is that good yet. So, okay. Okay, I'm going to show you one. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. When you think you know which one it is, raise your hand. Okay, don't talk because you'll interfere with your colleague's opportunity to think, to observe, okay? Okay?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was by myself for a second. Yeah, you remember the yes, Frank, yeah? Yeah. In my training groups, I teach the people when I go, yes, they'll go, yes, Frank. Well, let's see if you're good enough at that. You'll say, yes?
Yes, Frank.
That was terrible. Let's do that one more time. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, see? That's hard. Okay, good. So, okay, you ready? Remember, raise your hand. Okay. Okay? Yes? Active, negative. Who agrees? Yes, very nice. Okay, so you have one in a row. Okay, ready? Next. These are subtle. Pay attention. Watch for more than one thing. Okay, ready? Okay?
Negative passive.
Negative passive. Who agrees? Very nice. Good, good, good. Okay, so you guys are too good here. Okay, let's make this a little more difficult. Maybe. Be careful. I'm a clever devil. I might do the same one again. Okay. Yeah, I might. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Clever son of a bitch. That's yeah. Wow. No, Frank. Okay. Third one. Ready? Okay. Linda?
Active positive.
Active positive, who agrees? Active positive. Yes, very nice, okay, good. Let me see champions, 3 in a row, let me see. If you got 3 in a row, let me see your hand. Ah, okay, so we got some work to do. Well, what did you think the last one was? Interest, okay. They're pretty close, aren't they? Okay. There's a difference if you watch for it. Okay, watch, I'll show you. Back to back, okay? Positive active, watch. When I do this, I'll shift to interest. Positive active. Interest. See, when you see them back to back, they're really obviously different, okay? Okay, a lot of people confuse passive negative and passive positive because they're also very close. Watch. Passive negative. Passive positive. What's the difference? What do you see? Chin comes up a little bit. What else? Okay, mouth position changes. Muscles here change and here change a little bit. Passive negative for me is like my face is falling off. Passive positive is like, whoa, there's a little bit of joy or a little bit of. Okay, passive positive, what? Passive negative. Okay, yeah. So my feeling is my face is just going bleh, in passive negative, and I feel like my life is that way too, for the same thing. Okay?
Right, that you are looking like a little bit into yourself.
Good, yes, good. Into myself with passive negative.
Yes.
Yeah, good, very good. Yes?
Can you do the difference between positive active and positive passive?
Positive active, positive passive, sure. Positive active. Positive passive, I just did.
Here.
Positive active, okay, here. See it?
Mm-hmm.
Positive passive.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, active negative. My active calibrations are up, my passive calibrations are down.
Yeah.
Both active positive and active negative are both up. Those are active calibrations for me are outgoing, pushing out, away, happy and angry. Where the passive ones are more in. Okay, and so I'm not sure why I go up and down. I don't care, but I know that I do. Okay, interest is also up, which is interesting. Interesting. Okay. So, but for what I don't know where it comes from, but for whatever reason, it's more like I shift to the right. You know, and I don't know where I got that or where it came from or whatever. It doesn't matter. But it's like
pull up.
yeah, I do.
Yeah, looking at girls, I think.
Yeah, thank you very much. You gave away my secret again. Yeah. Yes.
Interest, is it possible that there are several ways of looking when you have interest?
Yes, of course, sure. These are what I call the primary calibrations. You have many more. Now, and you just get a very important point, because you will have people who have 7 or 8 different kinds of positive calibrations. They'll have 2 or 3 different interests. They'll have a couple of positive actives, which is a positive active doing, a positive active receiving. They'll have a lot of positive calibrations. Okay, and very few negatives. Now, what do you know about that person? Where do they make most of their distinctions? Where do they live most of their life? In positive experiences. You know other people who are just the opposite. They have lots of negative calibrations. Depression is different than upset, is different than tired, is different than sick, is different than, is different than, is different. And they've got a whole bunch of negative calibrations. And very few positive calibrations. How does that person live their life? Okay. Now, one other pattern. The people who live like that, they believe that the negative calibrations are real and that the positive calibrations are false. Interesting? You know, and if they have a negative calibration and you try to help them, you can hit them with a hammer and it's not going to do any good. Because no matter what you say, yeah, I tried that, it doesn't work. It's just going to take some time, you know. Give me a few days, you know, maybe I'll be all right. But if they're feeling good, you can't talk to them. You know, it's like, well, how about if we talk about, no, let's not talk about that, okay? I'm feeling good right now, okay? And I don't want to ruin it. And if we talk about that, you know what's going to happen to me? You know what happens to me when we talk about that, right? No, don't look at me like that. No, you know what happens when you look at me like that? Now, come on. Oh, it's gone. You did it. Thanks a lot. I was okay. You did that. You know people like that, guys.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And of course, we've never been people like that. No, not this week anyway. Oh, guys. Okay, so you recognize the pattern. Here's a person with weak temporary positive calibrations and King Kong negative calibrations. What do you know about that person? What kind of life do they live? Negative. They swim in the garbage. And there are people who love to swim in the garbage. It's like, and if you don't swim in the garbage with them, you're a bad person. You know? How can you be happy when I'm so upset? What's the matter with you? You don't care about me? You know, there are people, I meet people who say, if you care about me, you'll share my pain. You know, and I look at them and go, I care about you, and you can have your own goddamn pain. I'm going to go play basketball. See ya. What? How can you do that? Because I'm happy and you're a piece of crap and you think I want to stay with you and you're like this? Get the hell away from me. I'm going to play basketball. You don't love me. Actually, I do. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to tell you the truth about your bullshit. See ya. You know, and then they hate me and they divorce me and, you know.
Just like that.
It was supposed to be a joke, you know. Yeah. I'm terrible. I was raised in a horrible family when my parents fought. I used to beg them to get a divorce. From the time I was about 6 years old, I go, you guys hate each other's guts. Why do you live in the same city? Divorce. No, it's okay. Everything's okay. And then they'd fight and cuss and scream and send each other to the hospital. And like thousands of nights I spent the time in my bedroom with a pillow over my ears, trying not to hear them fight. Thousands. And I promised myself, sorry, not going to be in my life. So I'm terrible. If a relationship I have with somebody starts to turn like that, I put in some effort, okay? Effort accomplishes the goal, great. Listen, doesn't, later. I'm out of here. I don't live like that. You're my friend, we laugh, we play, we have a good life, or we don't be together. And so I've had a few wives. Quite a few. Yeah. It's funny because people say, well, how many wives have you had? And I say, are you sure you want to know? I say, you want to be number 11? You know, and as people look at me, you can't keep a marriage? And I said, no, I can't keep a negative marriage. I'm real good at keeping a positive marriage. It may sound terrible, but you know, I'm just not going to live like that, period. So, you have some work to do. Okay? In pairs, you show your partner all 6 of your calibrations. Okay? Then you show them one, don't tell them which one. Your task, to get 3 in a row correct. Got it? Okay? As soon as you do, you change roles and do it again. Okay? I think you can do this in 15 minutes max. Yeah? Ready, go? 10 minutes a day, 90 days, and this will be automatic for you. You won't have to think about it. You'll just be able to change your state anytime you want. Guys, I have a special name for this, and I call it the key to freedom. If you're a human being and you cannot manage your states, or if your states can be taken away from you by triggers or anchors or tone of voice or a look on somebody's face or something like that, then you are no longer a human. You have become a one-hemisphere animal because you no longer have a choice over your reactions. Humans have choice, guys. Now, we had choice when we were little. Most of us had that choice either beaten or talked out of them when we were kids, because kids are told what feelings to have about what event. You know? You understand what I mean by that?
Yes.
Kids are taught very, very carefully. No, when this happens, you should feel this. When that happens, you should feel this.
Yeah.
You know, and so what happens is kids are we have to be careful because kids are professionals, and they think that their senses actually work. You know, and they use their senses, and they trust their senses, and we have to change that. We have to beat them out of it. We can't let kids do that as children, because you know they can't walk up to grandma and go, "Oh wow, grandma, your nose is big." You know, no, hey, you know, can't do that. Leave grandma alone. You know, you tell grandma. You know, so you can't see what you see, you can't say what you think. Right? See, kids have an external dialogue. They don't have an internal dialogue. Right? You know what I mean, right? So what do? We teach a kid to talk inside your head. And then we suffer the consequences of that for the rest of our lives. Because once you start talking inside your head, you create your own world. And it has nothing to do with what your senses tell you. Because now you know how to do it. You're doing it right now. Okay? This is what's right. This is what's wrong. You do this. And then, guys, it gets worse. You know, we do things like people tell you you're stupid. And they tell you often enough, and you kind of go, you know, for a while you go, they're wrong. And then after a while you start to, well, you know, maybe they're not wrong. And then after a little longer you go, well, geez, maybe I am. And then the worst thing in the world happens. It's no longer them telling you. It's you telling you. And when you start telling you you're stupid and you have no idea where that came from or whether it's accurate or not, you just live it. And you live it not because it's accurate, you live it because you talk it. Guys, you have two brains, and you can live whatever the hell you want to live. You can live whatever feeling you want. If the feelings are yours, you create them. So once you gain freedom, once you come to the point, it's so interesting to me sometimes. Something will happen, and I'll think, oh my God, I'm supposed to be mad right now. Wow. Huh. Well, I wonder if I should get mad. Nah, doesn't make any sense. Oh, okay, well, I won't then. You understand? But it's like I recognize the trigger, but it doesn't trigger me anymore. So, but I kind of go, oh my God, yeah, that's when I was an idiot. And did this and this and this, and lost friends and you know, created problems and so forth. Yeah, I know how to do that. But I don't want to. Freedom. Freedom to have the reaction. Once you have this freedom, then everything else that you want to do, the skills that you want to have, they become much more available. If you don't have this freedom, guys, you're never going to be a professional communicator, never. Professional communicators are not robots. People who don't have control over their emotions are robots. You know, it's often funny to me. Have you ever heard people say that NLP creates robots? You know, it's hilarious because it's actually the opposite. Yeah. NLP stops people from being robots and actually lets them become human. Why? Because you have a choice? What do you mean you're not reacting to your real feeling? Get out of here. There's no such thing.
I've noticed that people get frustrated when you apply a state of control with yourself.
Yes.
Then they talk about,
you're cold, or you're distant, or you're...
putting your NLP on me, start being real.
Yeah. I love it when people say that to me. You know, they say, you're putting your NLP on me. And I go, yeah, I am. It's good. Yeah, absolutely right. And I love you, too. You know, besides that, you're ugly. You know, and then you get them laughing, and pretty much, okay, wait, I'm going to anchor you. Did it work? You know, no? Oh my God, I'm losing my NLP. You know, no, come on. You understand, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, are you manipulated? Hell yes. You know, doesn't NLP teach you to be manipulative? Yes, professionally. Hell yes. Guys, do you know that there are people who actually try to argue that NLP doesn't teach you to be manipulative? Of course it does. Why hide from that? Why be embarrassed about it? Of course it does. You know, everybody's manipulative, only most people do it accidentally and screw up their life and everybody else. So, I'm a professional. I'm responsible for the results I create. I'm responsible for my life. Of course I manipulate carefully, professionally, skillfully, and I'm proud of it. I've been a robot. I've been a drug addict. I've sat with a rifle in my mouth. I've done things that you don't want to know about. I know all of that. I know how that world works. You know, I don't want to live there anymore. And I don't want that history to control my present. Guys, if I didn't have control of my calibrations, I've got too many skill sets, you know, that are not really appropriate here. Do you understand? You know, so of course, no way. Okay. So, guys, the key to freedom. There is no excuse in my mind for not spending the 90 days.
Question.
Yes.
How to go about that? Because I can imagine the positive effect of training yourself to go into positive active, positive passive, but why train yourself going into negative active?
Good question. What do you think? Everyone here, I can understand training yourself to the positive ones, but why train yourself to the negative ones?
Because you want to have to create a reaction from the other side.
Okay, good. And if I can do it on purpose, I know when it happens to me and I cannot do it. If I'm automatic with the negative ones, they're still going to happen. But if I know how they work and I learn to do them, then I don't get surprised and I don't get tricked. Because I know the minute they start, I know. Because I practiced them on purpose. Plus, there are times when I'm getting on the train in Odessa. And the car that I'm getting into is not on the platform, it's farther down the track. So I have to raise up to step up in the stairs, right? And I've got my suitcase and this suitcase, and I'm carrying something for somebody else. And I look over here and there's a guy walking up to me with no suitcases. And he's looking at me like I'm food, okay? He looks over my shoulder and he looks at another guy and he gives a little nod like that. And I glance back and there's another guy coming in from there, right? And so I know I'm not stupid. I have a passport, I have a wallet, and I have my arms like this, right? Okay, and I'm all stretched out. So I look at him and I look at this guy and I tell him with my face, I will happily break every damn bone in your body slowly. Right? And he sees that look on my face. What do you think he does? He goes, and he looks at the other guy and he goes, and the two of them walk away. Right? And then I come, hi, and give my luggage and my ticket to the woman on the train. That fast. And I will break every bone in that guy's body slowly if he continues. Now, he doesn't know I won't, but
if he doesn't have these calibration skills, and he doesn't anyway,
okay, then he will have a long time in the hospital. They know, and he doesn't need any skills. He's looked at that, and if you see a person, you've met people who are dangerous, right? And if you've ever had them come up to you and look at you and be prepared to kill you, or prepared to hurt you severely, and you know that they have no fear of doing that, they have no boundary for that, and they look at you, you know, right, guys? You know. And if you find a person like that, you walk away. I walk away. And I've met a few people like that, especially in Russia and Ukraine. And there are some dangerous people, you know, very. And they get near me and they decide they want to mess with me or something. I take a look at them, and they can tell by the look that, you know, maybe I know a little bit, maybe I don't. But I look at them and I just give them a nod and walk. I'm not going to...
This is one of the gifts of combat.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Okay, another gift of combat, she said, is like I'm really good at knowing when to walk. Sometimes I know when to run. I know. Yes, so, guys. Okay. Let's go down. We're going to visit some of these things and have some skills tomorrow. Let me see, make sure I got this. We don't have there. I'd like to spend the rest of the day with symptoms. we have just a short time. And we'll start down with symptoms, and I'll give you an idea of my understanding of symptoms, okay?
Frank, a little
yes.
question.
Yes, what?
When you've got a normal upbringing as a boy or a girl in that manner, and you go to war and you come back, is the PTSD lesser than a child who has a troubled upbringing?
We don't have enough information to make that decision, and we don't know.
Okay.
But it's a really good thing to find out. We don't have enough specific information about soldiers' childhoods to compare that to their level of PTSD and treatment programs. We don't have enough yet.
So
There
20
is
years,
a hint.
big data, we'll know in 20 years.
Yeah. There is an idea about most of the professionals that the harder life a young person had, the quicker they deal with PTSD symptoms. So if you've already been brutalized a lot and you've got some skills about that, and then you go to war, it's like, okay, well, it's just another brutalization. But that's only an educated guess. That's all it is. Okay. But like you said, 20 years from now, we'll have a pretty good idea about that. One of the other things that might be startling for you, and that they do have information about now, is the difference between combat veterans and all the other veterans. So in the American Army, in the American military, they have what they call a 10-to-1, 9-to-1 ratio. There's 9 support soldiers for every combat soldier. Okay, so what about the 9 support soldiers? Do they get PTSD? They weren't in the war. They were bullets, guns, tents, logistics, and so forth. Okay, are you ready? They have a higher suicide rate than the combat soldiers do after the war. Was that a shocker? You know, it flew in the face of the opinion of most of the professionals in the day. It's like, what? They were in the war. What? How the hell are they killing themselves more often than the combat soldiers were? Okay, interesting. Okay, when you understand the dynamics, it becomes fairly obvious. Okay, number one, I went to the war expecting to be in combat, to find out if I could prove myself, to give my contribution, to become a man, to whatever. And I never got to. But I was in the military. I was in the esprit de corps. I was in see, the military is a tribe. And it has a tribe mentality and a tribe reality. And it has an emotion, a connection to the tribe, right? So what happens when you're in the tribe and you don't get to prove yourself, there's some very interesting things psychologically that go along with that. Plus, when you go home, you don't fit at home. Not because you were in combat, because you were in the tribe. You were in the military. You had the feeling and the motion, and you come home and you're nobody. Well, wait a minute. I'm nobody. I didn't prove myself. I'm embarrassed about that, but I did my job, but you know, here I am, and do I have a right to feel bad? Do I have a right to think something's wrong with me? Well, I don't like this life anymore. Why? What happened to me? What's wrong with me? And the problems that go along with that are more prone to suicide than the guys that were in war. If you're in combat and you survive it, you worked very, very hard not to die. So you still have that in you when you come home. You still have that goddamn desire to survive. Where a lot of the logistics soldiers, they don't have that degree of determination.
They didn't get the gift.
Well, yeah, they didn't get that gift. Okay. Now, what we learn is when you get those guys together, if the combat veterans are smart, if they're prepared, they finish the connection with the logistics guys and they become one. And so you did your job, I did my job, we're the same. Okay. Yeah, okay, I had to shoot people, but you had to give me the bullets so I could do it. Okay. So you saved me. You protected me. I did my part, you did your part. And it's very beautiful to see the combat soldiers thank the logistics soldiers for doing everything they did for them, and watch the logistics guys just melt, you know, because what? You know, you can get that feeling. Yeah, so you got to have a pretty good group, you know, to go through all that process. But all the soldiers who didn't get in combat, they have a lot of the sufferings without the strength of the pattern. You know, and theirs is more complicated. It's more psychological. It's more, who am I? What am I? Am I okay? Am I not okay? Did I do my job? Did I not do my job? So it's more kind of what we call normal neurotic, but it's still PTSD because of the tribe, because of the tribal culture.
They miss being in control.
Huh?
They miss being in control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. You know, and now I'll never know. Now I'll never know whether I would have faded or failed or done my job or not done my job or. You know, like it maybe sounds, you know, I had some of that too because, you know, there are certain myths about what happens to a soldier in combat and whether you've actually proven yourself or not. And if you go into war imagining that you're a coward, almost no matter what happens to you, you find excuses for it not to be enough. Right? It wasn't bad enough. It wasn't severe enough. I didn't actually prove anything. If it would happen again, I would have failed. And so a lot of that happens even for combat soldiers. And it's not fun. So I deal with symptoms in a fairly, what I consider to be a fairly healthy and fairly interesting way. Of course, my judgment. But as in NLP, most of the people that study NLP learn that symptoms are not the problem. Symptoms are the result of the problem. So you don't cure symptoms. You deal with whatever the pattern is that's creating the symptom. Obvious? Okay. Almost a little Freudian, which makes me sick, but the idea is still there. So I know a lot of people, and NLP people, which bothers me a great deal too, who are really, really proud of the fact that they can stop a flashback from happening in 10 minutes by running it backwards and slowing it down and take the color out of it and move the picture away and do a lot of this really interesting and valuable stuff. Okay? You're welcome. And you know, and let's see, how may I say this positively? That is an interesting perspective, and the only thing that scares me is if I could wipe out a symptom, like a flashback, but not deal with the message behind that or the cause of that, then how does it come back? Does it come back when I kill my wife? Does it come back when I throw my child off a bridge? You know, and then the NLP guy goes, well, you know, that's a different symptom, and they don't know whether it's a different symptom or not. You know, I mean, and why do you leave a pattern like that inside of a soldier? If there's a flashback happening, then something needs to be finished. Something needs to be done. There is work to be done here. And is it running it backwards and doing your doom bobby gobby gip and push your button, to me, is disrespectful. And I don't like that. And I have arguments with very well-known NLP people over these topics. You know, and I tell them, I have an 8-year track record of success. How long is yours? And they go, you know, I've only worked with 4 soldiers. You know, I'm going, well, I've worked with about 40,000 soldiers. So let's compare track records. So I get really, I don't like people who do bad work with my soldiers, because it costs them their lives, it costs them their families, it costs them their children. Ugh. So flashback, what is that? You know, I'm driving down the street and boom, suddenly I'm back in the war. Okay? So, what is that? What war? What's happening there? Consider it a guided fantasy and complete it. Move on. Say, bring it back. Remember the flashback. You're in a room with me, you're safe, bring it back. What's the flashback? Now, finish the flashback. Keep it going. Well, I don't know how it goes. Make it up. Okay, I don't know what's next. Imagine what's next. What's the worst thing that could be next? Guys, you know these techniques. Okay? We've learned them from the day one. Okay? Well, if you don't know the answer, make it up. You know, I look at a soldier and I say, make up the rest of this flashback. You stop the flashback here. Let's go on. What's next? What happens? Where do you go? How does it? What happens? You get the unconscious brings up the information, puts it in any form. It doesn't matter the form. It doesn't matter the content, right? Content doesn't matter. You know, call it spaceships. It doesn't matter. Continue with the form. What happens next? What happens next? And you'll get information from them about things that need to be done, things that need to be discussed, about changes that need to happen, about transformations that are in process, about, you understand? So guys, the flashback is a gift. It's that person's mind is saying, this is not done. God Almighty, help me finish this. It keeps coming back. Why do you think it's coming back? Because it's not done. You know, that's really hard to figure out. Science of the obvious, I promise you. Good Lord. I have this flashback that keeps coming back. No shit. Let's finish it. No, let's run the movie backwards and move it away and push the button and...
Does it mean that the flashback is always incomplete when it's not totally you?
Almost always they are. Almost always they end at the same moment.
Yeah.
And that moment is usually a very frightening or a very dangerous moment. And they stop. Almost always. Okay? Now, remember, in guided fantasy form, death is not a bad thing, necessarily. So he says, well, I get killed next. You go, okay, go ahead, get killed. Okay, then what happens? What do you come back as after you're killed? Okay, what killed what? Killed what feeling? Killed what desire? Killed what? You understand?
Yeah.
Because in a flashback is a metaphor. Well, guys, we've studied metaphors. We know the content is not live content, it's metaphor content, which means everything in that metaphor has a meaning that's not related to the content. Okay, good. I get killed. Super, get killed. Now, wake up. What are you now? I'm not a soldier anymore. Wow, really? What are you? I'm lost. Yeah, great. How are you going to be found? Let's find you. You understand?
But when does it stop?
As soon as he's happy with the result, and when does the flashback stop, or when does the process stop?
Process.
When he gets to the point where there's some kind of solution that you know is an ecologically sound solution. Sure.
For him.
For him. Yeah, for him, sure. Yeah, me, hell, I don't know. Yeah, so you know what congruence is. You know what is, you know how to do an ecological check, right? Okay, so you follow it, you follow it, you follow it until the calibration fits, until the breathing fits, until he's got a look on his face that says, oh my God, now I finally understand what the hell this was. Wow, Doc, thanks, that's incredible. And you check. You know, I don't take his word for it, I check. Is there anything else about this? Okay, and I don't care what he says. You understand? If there's any other piece of this that's not finished yet, watch. Okay? So calibration gives you the answer, not his words. So if he says, not sure, I said, it's okay, that's great. He said, not sure. I don't care. He said, not sure. I don't want that calibration said, yeah, I got it. You know, whoa. Calibration is the truth, not the words. You want to know where somebody's getting something. You know, I ask people, are you okay? And they go, yeah. And I go, good, let's work on what's bothering you. And they go, what? And I go, this one. Let's work on that. Talk to me. You know, they go, well, actually, I prefer answers that come in calibrations. Let me see if something else I can do quickly here.
Damer, is that comparable with the flashback?
Yes, very much. Same process, same way to work with them. Yeah, yeah. The only difference is that daymare has a tendency to be longer and you can do two things at the same time. Where a flashback usually has a tendency to overwhelm the person. But they're basically the same thing. Flashback is usually short, and the daymare can be 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And usually with a daymare, they can continue doing what they're doing, like driving a car or something. With a flashback, sometimes they have to stop because it's too much, it's overwhelming. It floods their senses. That's usually the only difference. But daymares, they're even more fun because they're like perfect metaphor content. It's like, oh my God. I think of these symptoms as gifts. The unconscious mind of that person is saying, here, I need this to be finished. I need this to be worked on. I need to understand what's happening in this feeling, in this emotion, in this calibration, in this whatever. So for me, it's like, oh my God, yes. Yeah, the guy goes, I have a daymare, and they go, yes! Come on, let's do it. You know, and they're looking at me like, whoa, what do you mean? I said, it's great. Daymare, perfect. It's one of my most favorite things for you to learn from. Let's go get it. You know, they look at me like, oh, I mean, doesn't mean I'm nuts? Nuts? It's a gift. Let's go. Let's follow it. And what happens in their head? They think either Doc's nuts, which sometimes is fine with me, because I am, right? Or they think, well, maybe that's not so bad after all. You hear it? Maybe that's not so bad after all. Okay. And we go get it. We go do it. We go finish it. Do you understand the difference between, oh my gosh, you're having a daymare? Whoa, okay, well, I don't know, maybe we can work on that. Get out of here. It wasn't bad before, it was just a daymare. Now it's a problem. Because you think it is. Because you talk it is. Because you... We can't let ourselves be that terrible, guys. We cannot let ourselves be that kind of an idiot working with soldiers or working with anybody else for that matter. Come on. People are dynamic. People are talented. People are incredible. The things that people can do with this thing on their head are just astonishing. They are walking miracles. Maybe they don't know that right now. Doesn't matter, damn it, I know it. You understand? Now, I'll give you the secret that goes along with that. I don't give a damn whether it's right or not. I don't care whether it's true or not. You understand? Maybe they are nuts. Maybe they are crazy. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't care. I don't care, because what do I know? The dominant belief value system is going to rule this goddamn process. And that's me. And I'm going to out-positive any craziness that happens in front of me. I'm going to out-learn it, out-think it, out-love it, out-cherish it, because that's what they deserve. We asked these guys to sacrifice their humanness and very possibly their lives. And we have the audacity to not behave in the way that that's an honorable thing. We have the audacity to think bad of them after we ask them to volunteer to lose their humanness for the rest of their life. And we have the temerity to be disrespectful and to think of them anything other than magicians, magic, powerful men of wisdom and women of wisdom. What in the hell job are we supposed to do here? No, we abandon them and toss them in the dirt and tell them good luck. Not in my world. And I hope not in yours. You understand me, guys? I hope not in yours. I don't care what the truth is. I'm going to make the truth. Because I have the responsibility to my soldiers to give them the opportunity to have the life and the wisdom they deserve. They sacrifice everything. And I'm going to respect that to the day I die. Every day, all day long. And when I get with the soldier, they know that I believe in them. They know that I trust them. They know that they can do everything great. They know. Why? Because I am a tower of power and belief, and it's going to come through to them whether they like it or not. Because that's the contract we all made with them. when we ask them to sacrifice everything for us. And when we don't fulfill that contract, it is us that should be in hell, not them. We owe them, and we owe them big. We owe them big. I appreciate you guys putting up with me today. Thank you so much. Get out of here.